always start a book that I enjoy, and because of real talk, let me tell you a lesson I learned a few years ago that I wish I had learned much earlier, which is that if I don't like a book after 50 pages, that's my contract as a reader with the writer, right? If you can't get me in here in 50 pages, I don't trust you to get me in here in the subsequent pages. I feel like you've given me what you can. You've given me what you got. And so if I'm not into it, I'm leaving. There's so many good books in the world. I know it's painful to not finish something that you start for a lot of people, but there are so many good books in the world that I feel like you owe it to the books you could be reading to put the book you don't like down and just let it be. Okay? I feel strongly about that. And it took me a long time to learn it. I used to be the person who finished every book I started. And sometimes that felt good, but mostly the moments it felt good were so short, because it would just be when I finished. And the majority of the time it felt bad, because I was still reading a book I didn't enjoy at all. And it's not insulting to the book or to the writer. Don't worry. It just means when you put a book down, you and that book were not a fit for whatever reason, stylistically, thematically, even like level of writing, you just weren't a fit at that point and place of time and space, okay? So don't feel bad about putting a book down. Something we'll all be learning forever is not everything is for us, right? And that's cool. So that book might not be for you, and it's for someone else, so don't feel bad. Anyway, a little tangent about DNFing, which is something I feel strongly about. The ability to DNF, the option to DNF. So anyway, sometimes I'll start a book that I like. That's why I got on this tangent, because I was thinking, if I don't like a book, I don't start another book and think of myself as reading two books simultaneously. I just end that one and then start another book properly. Usually only reading one book at a time. But every once in a while I start a book that I do like, that is a very particular kind of book that doesn't, for whatever reason, suit all of my moods, if that makes sense. So I'll start another book to kind of fill the gaps, not because the first one is lacking, but just because maybe it's not the right book for a certain time of day or a certain mood I've been in, or a certain kind of feeling I want from reading at that point in time. I hope this makes sense. And when that happens, I think the people who like my book videos might like what I'm currently reading video, especially because for once in my life, or twice in my life, or 3 times in my life, not often does it happen, especially because it will include more than one book. Hallelujah. So here we are. As you can see, I have my Blue Yeti off the stand. It's off the stand, so I will be holding up the books with my left hand, maybe doing some light one-handed tapping, which should be sloppy but good-natured, and just tell you a little bit about each of the books. As I said, there are 1, 2, 3. The first one is Just Kids. Just Kids by Patti Smith. Please don't think me stupid. Please. But I really only knew of her and her name for her contributions to music, to rock and punk music, I really good. And I was expecting it to be, because everyone and their mother raves about this book. But every so often there's a book people are raving about, and I just don't like it. This is not one of those. The thing about this too is that it wasn't just hyped. It wasn't just momentarily hyped like a flash in the pan. It's been consistently raved about by many people I've crossed paths with. So I did have high hopes for it, and so far it is it's fulfilling them. It is a kind of memoir ode written by Patti Smith to Robert Mapplethorpe, her friend and ex-boyfriend. Essentially just someone very meaningful to her and her life, throughout her life. They're both artists, and I've only read the first 2 sections, but it's about how they came up together and supported one another as they tried to become artists. And they were poor, man. She talks about one night they're gonna celebrate something, some good news, and they're so poor that she makes her specialty, which is, I think, rice with anchovies and raisins. Nope, couscous with rice. Nope, couscous with anchovies and raisins, and lettuce soup, which is those chicken bouillon cubes with just little bits of lettuce on top. And that was their celebration dinner. So, just making sure I didn't mute myself. They really had a rough go of it at the beginning in New York City. And they're both such varied artists, like artists who worked in so many different media, because she did the whole music thing, which is how I initially knew of her. Also a poet and a writer. He, at least so far in the relationship, is doing drawings and stuff, but I believe he's also known for his photography. And in the book there are, let me see if I can find one at random, there are photos and examples of the drawings. I'm trying to find one for you at random, but it's hard because the pages are deckled, so it's hard to just flip through to find something by sight. I'm not a fan of deckled pages, I will admit. They look nice, but not functional. But like here's a photo, for example. So little plates of drawings and photos and stuff, and the writing is excellent. It's excellent. So very is Wild Heart, which is about, I think her name was Natalie Barnard. If you like Clarice Lispector, if you like Virginia Woolf, if you like Vita Saxville West, if you like Colette, if you like I don't know what, you should check it out. It's fantastic. And then she also sent me another one that comes to mind, The Bastard by Violet Leduc. Violet, L-E space D-U-C. She's French. Very good. Okay, and then one I just started the other day to complement Just Kids, which I have read into some and will probably read more of, was this was a recommendation to me by a friend, a different friend, although I bought this one myself, and it is The Butterfly Lampshade. The Butterfly Lampshade by Amy Bender. I'll show it to you, hang on. Amy Bender. Amy Bender. The Butterfly Lampshade. My tapping is impossible with one hand, but she is a fascinating writer, I think. I don't know what I'm doing perching this on my shoulder. She's a fascinating writer, and I haven't gotten this from the book yet because I only just began it. But my friend described this book to me as essentially just a woman sitting around thinking about her childhood. Look at that. And the past. And she's like, it should be so boring based on that description. You would think it might be, but it's not. She said it's superb. So I sprung for the hardcover, and I hope it was worth it. I have really strong resentment towards hardcovers that I thought I muted myself, that don't make the cut in the end. I really kick myself about buying them. I guess there are worse things. At least I bought a book, right? But so far so good. I'm only like 50 pages in. I'm only 50 pages in so far, but I really do like it. So if you have read any of these 3 books, I would love to hear about your experience. I'm just getting them in order for you. If you read any of these 3, just let me know how you liked them. I would love to know. And or let me know what you are reading right now, because I like to know that too, because I'm nosy. I'm so nosy. I don't know what's going on, but traffic's picking up here, so I think I'll go now. But let my last word be that I just finished the Copenhagen trilogy, and it's so phenomenal. I do not say this lightly. It has earned a spot on my favorite books of all time shelf that I reserve for like the Diaries of Anais Nin and the Neapolitan novels and like Leaving the Adoja Station and Cosmos and books like that. It's earned a place on that shelf, which is no small feat. So if you were on the fence about buying or reading that for some reason, let this be your sign that you absolutely should. I have no issue with it whatsoever. So it was really good. The language of the first part, childhood, is crystalline. It is so beautiful. The language throughout is beautiful, but particularly in the first section. And then the third section, plot-wise, just pummels you. It pummels you. It's devastating, and decisions